like I said before, I just don't get on here and talk. I like to show you a reality so I can hold the mirror up to you guys so you can see what I'm seeing sometimes. Because I get very upset when we hear things like from Andrew Berry. We feel good about our receiving room. Don't give me that. If you don't want to unveil what you got going on, just say, we looking to always upgrade our positions, no matter it's a receiver, quarterback. We always looking for talented guys. But don't sit up here and gas me out. You starting to seem like the Dolans. Don't give me that Dolan line communication. Talk about we like what we have in our room. You're the only person that like what's in that room. And to prove a point, I looked up the all-time greatest Browns receivers by yardage. And not only was I appalled and shocked, I was confused how this is even possible. These are pre-World War II. These is World War II type. That's how far we going back to catch the top five. Think about how many great receivers have come and gone since this has happened. Drum roll, please. Coming in at number 5. Now, this is nuts. The number 5 receiver of all time. Nope, hold on. Here we go. That wasn't even that one. You got Ray Renfro. Like, really? We got Ray Renfro? Listen, if you have no clue who Ray Renfro is, go ahead and put that in the chat. Because I'm telling you what, I have no idea who this man is. And that just goes to show you, 281 receptions, 5,500 yards, 50 touchdowns. And he played in 1952 to 1963. Cool. That's nuts. Let's keep it moving. This is tough. Let's get to number 4. Mac Speedy. Notice, we got to go back far. We got to go back so far that these dudes don't even have face masks. This dude had a part-time job too. I think he worked 2 jobs and played football. This was so long ago. 349 yards, 5,600 yards on the ground, 349 receptions, and 33 touchdowns. He played from 1946 to 1952. Shall I keep going? Who we got up next, G. Bush? Another guy. Well, at least now they got face masks on. At least now they've evolved. We've gotten to the era. It's still black and white. We got Gary Collins. 331 receptions, 5,299 yards, 70 touchdowns. And he played at least during the Civil Rights Movement, 1962 to 71. Good old Gary Collins. If you're under the age, if you wasn't born in 1926, you never saw him play. Let's keep it rolling. Maybe we might get some people with a regular color picture. Dante Lavelli. Good old, how could we forget Dante Lavelli? 1946 to 1956. 386 receptions, 6,488 yards, and 62 touchdowns for Mr. Lavelli. Now, I used to call Joe Flacco Flaccavelli. But once again, what's the common denominator? These guys look like they playing in Fred Flintstone cleats. All the jerseys is the same because it's not in color. And there's about 6 people in the stands. These are your top receivers. These are the guys who move the room. Let's get to number 1. And the sad thing about number 1 is he ain't even a receiver. Ozzie Newsome, he not even a receiver. This picture's so old, he's playing in turf shoes on grass. He still has Newman gloves on. They didn't even have Under Armour back then, boys and girls. He is out there in a flannel. That is an all-white flannel. Shout out to the Wizard of Oz. 662 receptions, 7,980 yards, and 47 touchdowns. He played from 1978 to 1990. And that is your Cleveland Browns. Blast from the past. Now, you know what's disturbing about this? We are so outdated in the Stone Ages that your best receivers look like they all came from bedrock. Some didn't have face masks. Some of them was out there in regular church shoes. And we still have every single off season. We talking about what we don't need. People, you're living in the black and white era. You're living in a whole nother world. And the Cleveland Browns have never, and as a matter of fact, maybe Jimmy Haslam was right in what he did. Maybe Jimmy Haslam was right in saying, you know what, y'all had a nice year, sound good on paper, but damn it, we got to go to the next level. We got to at least be in this decade, this century, this millennia. All of that stuff where you're playing 4 inches in a cloud of dust stuff, maybe that ain't what it is now. And to prove that you still have had the same stale mentality about what wide receivers are and what they do, we still go into this thing like we live in 1936. When you get receivers like Odell Beckham Jr., G. Bush, I don't like the flash. I'd rather have an old school guy who knows how to handle and give the ball back to the ref. What do you mean, like this guy? You know, G. Bush, guys, they're divas. You know, guys are rocking the boat. I just want a guy who runs crisp routes and really hands the ball to the ref, and we can run play action. You know, like with this guy. And the reason I do this for y'all, and I take painstaking time, energy, and effort to do it, is because sometimes you got to hold the mirror up to people and say, look, this is what you're secretly endorsing. You want to live in black and white television, or you want to get this HD? You want 4K or 8K, or you still want to use the knobs and you bang on the top of the tube box and use? I'm just saying.